Okay, so on March 22nd, Elon Musk oversaw the handover of Tesla's first German-made cars at its Grünheide plant, thus marking the start of the U.S. automaker's inaugural European hub just 2 years after it was first announced. Loud music played as 30 clients and their families got a first glimpse of their shining new vehicles through a glitzy neon-lit Tesla-branded tunnel, clapping and cheering as Tesla chief executive Musk danced and joked with fans. So what does this mean? It's probably an indication of how fast Tesla is working to push this year's deliveries a notch higher. Well, Musk described it as another step in the direction of a sustainable future, but it's not always that easy. Although German Chancellor Olaf Scholz, who also attended the event, lauded the gigafactory as the future of the car industry, it has faced opposition and some environmental activists blocked the factory's entrance while displaying banners flagging its high water use. Two protesters abseiled from a motorway sign near the factory, blocking traffic for hours after the event. Musk had hoped to begin output from the factory 8 months ago, but licensing delays and local concerns about the plant's environmental impact held up the process. Before Giga Berlin secured a final permit from regional authorities earlier this month, Tesla had achieved something that was unheard of in recent German corporate history. It had almost completely built a plant big enough to truly deserve the brand name Gigafactory, relying solely on a long string of about 20 different preliminary permits. And Tesla was forced to service European orders from Shanghai while it awaited its German license, adding to rising logistic costs at a time when it was struggling with industry-wide chip shortages and other supply chain disruptions. It got the final go-ahead from local authorities on March 4th to begin production in Germany, provided it met conditions ranging from its water use to air pollution controls. The plant opening came on the same day as the top U.S. securities regulator urged a federal judge not to let Musk back out of an agreement requiring that his Twitter use be monitored, which the Tesla chief executive considers part of a campaign of harassment. Now let's talk about the new German Tesla plant. What are the numbers? Well, Tesla said that new orders from the plant could be delivered from April. The new owners received the Model Y performance configuration, a vehicle costing $70,491 with a 514-kilometer range. Tesla said that around 3,500 of the plant's expected 12,000 workers have been hired so far. At full capacity, the plant will produce 500,000 cars a year, which is more than the 450,000 battery electric vehicles that German rival Volkswagen sold globally in 2021. It will also generate 50 gigawatt hours of battery power, surpassing all other plants in Germany. For now, Volkswagen still has the inside track in the race to electrify Europe's fleet, with a 25% market share to Tesla's 13%. Musk has said ramping up production would take longer than the 2 years it took to build the plant. Well, J.P. Morgan predicted Grünheide would produce around 54,000 cars in 2022, increasing to 280,000 in 2023 and 500,000 by 2025. Volkswagen, which has received 95,000 EV orders in Europe this year, is planning a new €2 billion EV factory alongside its existing facility in Wolfsburg and 6 battery plants across Europe. But its timeline lags Tesla's, with the EV factory due to open in 2026 and the first battery plant in 2023. It's undisputed that Tesla doesn't depend on subsidies to compete with the big names in the German auto industry. Now Volkswagen, BMW, and Daimler with its Mercedes brand will have a hard time catching up with Tesla's advanced mobility concepts and technology as they jumped on the bandwagon rather late. Nevertheless, Tesla's German competitors are now hard at work electrifying their product range, and they have a lot more experience in mass-producing cars. But for mass production to make sense, you need masses of people who can afford electric cars. So far, neither Tesla nor any German manufacturers have anything on offer for the not-so-affluent, particularly if car makers would have to sell their e-models without the current state subsidies in place for buyers. So many investors don't realize how big the impact of Tesla's German factory is. Maybe we should explain it a little better. Late last year, the electric car manufacturer had been allowed to expand preliminary tests at its new factory in Grünheide. The Regional Environment Office for the state had approved the application for a functional test with up to 2,000 more car bodies on top of the 250 agreed on earlier. Tesla was allowed to build the cars for testing, but not to sell them. Now it's a different ballgame as production is set to be accelerated in the second half of 2022. Tesla may produce roughly 30,000 units in its first 6 months. Eventually, it aims to put out 500,000 cars there per year. So far, Model Y fully electric vehicles for the European market have come exclusively from Tesla's Shanghai plant, but this will change once Berlin is up and running. For Musk, Giga Berlin is of strategic importance. Together with a new factory in Austin, Texas, he hopes to see Tesla become a real mass producer of electric cars in the course of the year. The U.S. car manufacturer could be able to produce 1.3 million units globally in 2023. If it succeeds, it would leave behind such renowned brands as Volvo and Mitsubishi and be on a level playing field with Volkswagen Skoda. And the most important bit is that regional politicians see Giga Berlin as the most significant investment project across eastern Germany and have pinned great hope on the factory's long-term economic effects. The state of Brandenburg, which surrounds Berlin, is economically underdeveloped, with agriculture and, above all, mining being the most important sources of income, apart from tourism. But coal mining is to be phased out, and new employment opportunities are desperately needed. The Tesla plant in Grünheim will eventually employ 12,000 people, up from over 3,500 right now. Not many of them come from Brandenburg itself right now, but more jobs will be created if the state succeeds in turning the region into a future mobility and energy transition hub. Well, the aspirations on all sides are pretty high. Tesla claims Giga Berlin will be the company's most advanced and efficient facility yet. Apart from manufacturing Model Y cars at record speed, the Grünheim premise will also include a battery cell production plant meant to be the world's largest such facility. Musk has indicated the plant will have an annual production capacity of up to 100 gigawatt hours in an initial stage, which may later be expanded to 200 gigawatt hours. But even the planned capacity at the start would be enough to produce batteries for well over 1 million Model Y cars. Experts expect Tesla to produce a new generation of 80 by 60 millimeter cells, promising higher energy density. Eventually, that would mean that the cars could extend their current range by 16%. And to the big surprise of many, Tesla in November withdrew its application for subsidies from its Grünheim battery plant, thus renouncing a sum that could have been as high as 1 billion euros. Now, was that just a noble gesture? Tesla itself has recently said it wanted to protect its battery cell know-how with the move. In addition, in line with subsidies rules within the EU's Important Project of Common European Interest program, enterprises are not entitled to receive funding for technologies that they're already using at other facilities, meaning the battery cells cannot already be made at another Tesla plant. When Tesla announces battery plans for Germany, it hoped the plant could be operational fast enough to be the first of its kind globally. But various delays at Giga Berlin seem to have thwarted that plan, given that the U.S. carmaker is now deploying the same technology at its factories in Texas and Shanghai. Anyway, Giga Berlin is Tesla's wildcard in 2022. With the factory up and running, Tesla could easily meet its deliveries target. So investors should brace up for a massive year for the giant EV maker. We'll keep you posted as we get more updates. Remember to like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.